It's homecoming 2022 for the Monte Vista Mustangs as they host Amador Valley. Will the Mustangs snap their 4-game losing streak? You'll find out next. Happy Friday wherever you may be, and welcome to Sam Zackheim Memorial Field for this EBL matchup between the Amador Valley Dons out of Pleasanton and the Monte Vista Mustangs. I'm Chris Babcock, and joined by my broadcast partner Craig Bergman. And Amador this season is 4-2. They lost last week to Clayton Valley in the EBL matchup, and up till last week, Coach, defensively they're doing a pretty good job, but giving up, they had only given up 36 points, but gave up a lot of points to Clayton Valley, and they're looking to get back on. Their head coach is Danny Jones.
You know, Clayton Valley with a strong running game, and they gave Amador a lot of fits with that. And that's something that Monte Vista's got to try to do. They've got to get back to the run game. They've got to be able to establish a little bit more run. They've been a very pass-heavy offense, and I'd really like to see them get back to a little bit more of a 50-50 type thing. And I think if they're going to be successful, they've got to try and establish the run early.
So Amador Valley, their best football player is number 8, Brady Nasser, and he is going to University of Colorado, and the Mustangs need to block him. And for Monte Vista, they've lost 4 in a row. They had a very winnable game last week against Cal High, 34-25, but when you throw a pick 6 and a punt block return for a touchdown, and then right before the end of the half, an interception that it's run back to the 4-yard line. Your defense only gives up 13 points, but if you look at the scoreboard, it looks like they gave up 35.
You got to eliminate those turnovers, and especially in those key situations. We always talked about the key 3 possessions: the beginning of the game, the end of the half, and the first drive of that second half. And giving up a touchdown, 2 touchdowns basically, the last 2 drives of the half, really put them behind the 8 ball, and then they were playing from there. It was an uphill battle.
You're watching Monte Vista football on NorCal Sports TV, presented by American Asphalt. Monte Vista football on NorCal Sports TV, presented by American Asphalt, is brought to you in part by Orthopedic Express by GSOS. When injuries occur, visit our specialty orthopedic urgent care in Walnut Creek. Golden State Orthopedics and Spine. Be your best active self, whether tiny or big, 2 or 102, or a world-class grandparent. You can find care with our expert, compassionate orthopedic doctors. Ned Milin at Morgan Stanley, seeking to help you simplify your financial life and realize the future you envision. Spitz Jewelers, making memories for over 75 years in Walnut Creek. George T. Schramm Mortgage. Contact the 1992 Monte Vista alum George Schramm at georgeschramm.com for your new or refinance mortgage needs. Contra Costa Office of Education. Learn, lead, achieve. edTV, Contra Costa County Education Television, and American Asphalt, taking care of business in the Bay Area for over 35 years. So tonight we've got a matchup. Schools have been going back and playing each other since 1972. Our 3 keys to victory, and first for the visiting Dons. And what's a Don, Coach?
A Don is a Spanish gentleman.
Very good. And that's a quiz we used to give our players on Wednesday. And if they could answer simple questions like that, we weren't running. Anyway, 3 keys to victory. First, and this is our keys because I wasn't able to get in contact with Coach Jones, win the turnover ratio. They got a couple of turnovers last week against Clayton Valley, but then they turned it over as well. No big pass plays. We're expecting Monte Vista to throw the football a lot with their injuries and guys out. And as Danny Jones likes to say, hashtag pound the rock. Those are your 3 keys to victory for Amador Valley. For Monte Vista, we're going to do a Bergman-Babcock key is run the football. We'll just leave it right there. We'll talk about that as we get into the broadcast. Great push with the defensive line. Be efficient on offense and balanced, as we had talked about, and being tough. Handling situations, managing those situations like last week, the end of the half, 20 seconds left, take a knee, move on, another pass. Instead of being down 21-10 at half, they're down 28-10. You got to manage those situations. So I'd like to appreciate and give a shout out to all of our partners that are helping us bring you this broadcast. Orthopedic Express by GSOS, Golden State Orthopedics and Spine, Ned Milin at Morgan Stanley, Spitz Jewelers, George T. Schramm Mortgage, Contra Costa Office of Education, edTV, and American Asphalt. So a little history. We had quite a history with Amador. We'd had some interesting officiated games over our time period. We're not going to get into this. This isn't a Dr. Phil moment. Let's go to the coin flip in the center of the field and one of our favorite officials, Ken Leffel.
I don't think we can get fined for talking about officiating, can we?
No, we can't. But we don't have enough of them, so the ones we have, we have to support. So the Dons in white will call it. So the Mustangs won the toss, and like you used to do, before it was trendy to defer, they will get the opening kickoff. So the history between these two teams, their first game, coach, was back in 1972. This is the 47th meeting between the schools. Last game was October 15th, 2021, a crazy day for all of us. Monte Vista won 10-7. The first matchup, Amador won 27-7. That was November 4th of 1972. The Mustangs' first win was 7-6 in 1973. The biggest Monte Vista win was 41-6, and that was on October of 1980. And the largest margin of victory and we were involved with one of these, and you know who you're going to finish the sentence with, 1979, 27-0. And then in 1997, we got Junior Adams, 41-14. He was quite a football player,
and he's doing a heck of a job as a football coach at the University of Oregon, I believe, still.
Most certainly. And they honored Monte Vista's second class of Hall of Famers, Carol Dolesby, Jason Hill, as the Mustangs take the field. Kathy Callaghan, Rex, Brian Barber, a favorite of ours. Dr. Jerry Davis. Can't speak enough about him and his wife, Frances. Former basketball coach Ron Hirschman, Lisa Coate, Whitney Casey, Jessica Steffens, and Ryan Wayland, celebrating their careers at Monte Vista and in their post-Monte Vista careers. Quite a night last night, Coach.
All well-deserved, and it was so fun to see the accomplishments of some of the people that were there well before we were back in the 70s, and just to see what they've accomplished, not just in high school, but since they've gone on in life. Really a neat deal, and hats off to Andy Popper for running such a great event.
Riley Balch will tee it up for Coach Jones. He replaced Rick Serra. This is his 7th season, hired in 2016, was an assistant for 5 seasons. And Amadors have had some really good quarterbacks over the years. He led the Wisconsin Whitewater in 2007 to the NCAA D3 title. He is career 35-29 here at Amador. So our kickoff, sponsored by George T. Schramm Mortgage.
I tell you, this is what it's all about. EBAL football.
MV Football Hall of Famer, Colorado State alum, where his son Rocco is playing. George T. Schramm Mortgage. Go to georgeschramm.com for your purchase or finance needs. Kenny Leffel is our referee. Homecoming crowd. Had a nice hamburger with our principal before the game. We're all ready to go. And Mustangs, you look at their record and you say 1-5, but they've done some good things, and they are very young, very heavily senior now, or senior-laden team, have a lot of sophomores and juniors playing, so they're looking to put things together. They'll get the opening kick and be able to drive right away. And as usual, what happens with Amador kickers, they kick it into the end zone. And explain that rule, Coach, and why it's such an asset for a team to be able to just kick the ball into the end zone.
Anytime that ball crosses the end line in the air, it's a dead ball. You cannot return it, and there's no need to cover it. And if you have a guy like that, I was toyed with the idea when we had Peyton Henry a couple times to just send him out on the field by himself and have him kick a walk-off kick. Obviously, we didn't do that, but
he talks a big show. I'd have to, tease him and grind him into that. Mustangs on offense. Mateo Congdon is the quarterback, throwing for 1,365 yards this season. Broughton is the tight end. He's in motion, and then he'll follow another motion, and it'll be in the shotgun. And there's Nasser. My key, we said block 8. If Monte Vista doesn't block 8, it's going to be a long night, and nobody even touched him.
Nobody touched him. It's also on Mateo right there. That's a zone read, and you'll see 8. When he crashes down like that, as a quarterback, you got to be able to pull the football and run with it. And Mateo's got to take advantage of these situations. When the defensive end crashes, you've got to pull that and take it around the outside.
Mustangs playing behind the chains. Second down, quick throw, hitch is caught. And gliding through traffic and making it a manageable third down for the Mustangs.
See, I like that call on first down probably a little more. Now you'd have 2nd and 6 rather than 2nd and 12. I think it's a more high percentage play.
Breedlove with the catch, and I love how he gets up the field immediately, and then we've got a stoppage of play. And probably got a little blood or something, or the knee pads aren't down. All those fun things that drove us nuts.
Coach, I mentioned EBL football. It's so nice to see a natural rivalry back again.
Well, we had this game. You were up, I believe we're out of town. We did this game last year, and it was the last matchup before that was 2017. We could go in about the EBL, and it was all ruined by a certain school at Whitney Tree, but we're not going to go there. And we love those EBL matchups. You play the 2 games in Pleasanton, the games in Livermore. You got San Ramon, you got Cal, you got a Valley Championship. And those days are long gone.
Well, they should all be playing everybody.
Yes.
It should be an entire league, not 2 leagues, and 1 champion and 1 champion.
Yeah, I don't
only.
like the Valley Mountain thing. Is just, yeah. So the Mustangs are going to empty the backfield. So imagine a quick pass. You got to watch 8 coming off the edge. And then they're going to blitz. And here it is, and he's unblocked. But he makes the play. Breedlove. We're looking for an explosive play early. Doesn't quite get the 20-plus yard catch, but nevertheless, they like that matchup on the outside, right in front of the Don's bench.
And the ball was out of his hands quick. They came with a blitz off the edge, an unblocked guy, and he just got the play off. They got to do a better job of picking that up.
Well, the left tackle is a sophomore, Ben Fry, and what I liked, at least he got his hand on both players. And we got a quick screen. We like to call this Roger. And McMahon picks up 9 and a nice, we like throwing it out in space. And then we've got and they're going to call it a first down.
Well, you know what? If they're going to come with a lot of pressure like that, those are the kind of passes you want to take advantage. Slow that rush down. Get rid of the ball quick.
So the Mustangs started this drive on their own 20. Quick hitch. And coming back for the football is Shahada. And it'll be 3 plays in a row, 3 first downs for the Mustangs.
Still, like to say, can't go away from the run. I know they were unsuccessful on that first shot, but they got to keep them honest. Got to keep that rush down.
In these situations, you used to love the draw. But the draw is not as effective out of the shotgun. McMahon, the sophomore, had 82 yards rushing last week against Cal.
Going to get some sort of blitz here. We got man coverage.
And it's handoff to McMahon. And although not a big gain, you gotta still run the football. And we'll just talk about their lack of rushing production. They have 370 yards rushing on the season. They got 132 of that last week, which McMahon had 82. So when one of the keys was balance, it's so important. Even if you're not getting big chunks, running the football is going to help your offensive line and help slow down this aggressive pass rush of the Dons.
And in this scenario here, it's probably 4-down territory. Don't be afraid to run it again.
Exactly. So we've got the stack here at the bottom of your screen, and it's going to be a double pass, and guys wide open. And nice play. Nice work. The double pass, and let's cue Luke Clausen. Let's cue the circus music. The double pass, and I like how Clausen double pumped this. He's got time.
If he gets rid of it right away, it's probably a touchdown. But you know what? He did a nice poise in staying in there.
Good job by the Mustangs. Started this drive on their own 20, and they're inside the red zone where they weren't real good last week against Cal. But we like the run play. And he's quite a load as a sophomore. Was transferred from Monroe Catholic, had to sit out until that sixth game. But you can see just in one game and a drive, his ability to run and get a forward lean on that run, Coach.
Really good pad level right there, and I like the way he finished that run too. He finished with his feet moving.
And then the offensive coordinator is out of the box, and Ken Leffel will throw a flag. It'll be just a sideline warning.
The next one will be a penalty.
Yes. Well, at this point of the year, never mind. Clock will rewind, and we've got two backs on the side of Congdon. That's got to be a miss. We'll get a little heavy set. This might be one of the new plays put in yesterday.
Well, they ran the same set the last run, and they went to the two-back side. That time they went away from where the two backs were.
Okay, so it's 3rd and 1. It's 3rd and 1. These were the type of situations when you'd maybe fake a run and then sprint out and use the field and have some options. We'll see what the play is. And this is exactly what the Monte Vista offense was looking to do. Get the football, control it, and move down the field. Third and 1. Looked like the speed option, Coach.
I like the call down there. That's a nice call, and I'm glad he didn't pitch it. I think it's a great opportunity for the quarterback to run the football right there.
So they moved the chains down inside the 1 yard line, but Congdon does a good job. It's a speed option. We used to love that on the goal line, but you have two options, one to run it or pitch it. I think he made the best one. So it's 1st and goal from the 1.
And my biggest pet peeve in all of football is being in the shotgun on the 1 yard line.
So the defense gets a running start up the seams, not much blocking whatsoever.
Well, it's so difficult. No quick hitters. When you're in the shotgun, you got to take the time to get the snap, hand it to a guy who's already 4.5 yards deep in the backfield. They know where the aiming point is, and they're going to tee off on that aiming point.
Mustangs get right back up onto the football. And McMahon stumbles. So now it's going to be 3rd down, and the Mustangs had so many opportunities last week inside the red zone and didn't take advantage. And this is so important. And I don't want to be dramatic, but as far as the confidence, this is important plays they've had all season. Clock continues to wind here. So wonderful how our students pay so much attention during the football game.
I sense a little sarcasm.
Very much sarcastic. That was in my resume. Don't see a hand count. A lot of time. Sprint right. Throw into the end zone. And it's caught for a touchdown. He's had a lot of catches, and there's as big as they're going to get. Breedlove with the catch.
He did a terrific job of high pointing that football, going up and getting it at the apex of it. And he just out-jumped the defender. He did a really nice job. Congdon did a nice job of throwing it to where only he could catch it.
It looks like the old catch play with the 49ers. We call that 58 sprint. And the Mustangs, on a key 3 possession, go right down and score, and the extra point is good, and the Mustangs lead 7-0. You're watching Monte Vista football on NorCal Sports TV, presented by American Asphalt.
At Golden State Orthopedics and Spine, we want you to get your swing back, get your ride back, Get your sprint back. With our top-to-toe orthopedic care throughout the Bay Area, we want you to get your life back. Golden State Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho care for life.
That'd be great. So we got the kickoff. Is it going to be one of those games? Kickoff sponsored by George T. Schramm Mortgage. Go to georgeschramm.com for your purchase or refinance mortgage needs. George continues to support us and give back to the community. George T. Schramm Mortgage. So the Mustangs go 75 yards in 5 minutes and 49 seconds and a 2-yard touchdown reception by Breedlove, who had 3 big catches on that drive. And Jungi will kick off. He has yet to get a touchback this year. Taken around the 10-yard line by the Dons. Anthony Harrington, just a freshman out of Pleasanton, California, with the return. And the Dons will take over on the 24-yard line.
Really nice opening drive. Nice statement by Monte Vista. You and I talked about mixing the run and pass. I thought they did a nice job of that. They ran enough to keep them honest, had a little success with it.
So it'll be 1st and 10 on the 24-yard line. And number 8, Nasser, will be at fullback under the center. And they're going to pound the rock. And it's 28 reach. And picks up 9 on that first down carry. Jake Goldsworthy had 148 yards versus Foothill. And they'll get the first down on the first running play of the game.
You see a big size disparity up front with Amador having some big kids up there. Monte Vista's going to have to do some things to try and negate that size and move their linemen a little bit, give them some different looks. Otherwise, if they try to line up and go head-to-head with them, it's going to be a long night.
Ryan Cannon is the quarterback, a senior. Drew Souza's got all the starts this year leading up to this game. And we've got a fast screen out in the flat and picks up about 4 yards. They will do that time and time again. Then they'll fake it. And Jeter with the reception, the junior, and picks up. Those plays are designed for 4 or 5 yards.
It's an outside run. It's a long handoff is what it is. It's just an extension of your run game, but you're throwing it to a kid.
So the Mustangs defense has given up 36 points a game. And last week, but they only gave up 13 to Cal when you really look deep into the box score. It'll be 2nd and 6, little motion across the formation by Gates. He'll yo-yo. It's going to be an inside run. And the Mustangs rally up, and it'll be a 3rd and a long 3 for the Dons, who are 4-2 on the season. They had their 4-game winning streak snapped last week against Clayton Valley. They're scoring only 18.5 points per game, and that's skewed by 38 versus Granada. Their defense has given up nearly 14 a game, but that's a little skewed from what the success Clayton Valley had last week. 3rd and 4 here, or 3rd and long 3. Stretch run. And the Mustangs do a great job of running to the football, and I like how the corner came up, or the linebacker, Ben Meineke, and he's not afraid to hit somebody.
I'd be shocked if they don't go for it here and run something up inside. And it doesn't shock me that they only average 18.5 points because of the offense and the style that they play. They milk the clock. They huddle. They have traditional huddle. They run the football, and the clock's going to keep moving. And they're looking for fast games.
So you're looking when the whistle blows, you have 40 seconds to snap the ball the next play. They are going to milk that to death. We got a double tight, heavy set, eye back, and it's a fullback dive, and I don't think that they got it. Good defense by the Mustangs. Gates with the carry, and the Mustangs, it's like they knew what was coming.
Well, I don't, for the life of me, understand why you don't give the ball to Nasser in that situation. You're looking for 1.5 yards. He's got a terrific athlete, big hulk of a kid, And I think it's to Monte Vista's advantage them not doing that.
So the Mustangs are going to take over on downs with 3:27 left in the quarter. I'm Chris Babcock, joined by my broadcast partner, Craig Bergman. We spent 20 years together here coaching football, lifelong friends, and happy to bring you this game. It's a 3-by-1 set for the Mustangs. Little triangular bunch out there, the hash mark. I'd still feed that ball to McMahon here. I don't think the guys know what they're doing here.
Well, they're playing a little quarter, half coverage.
That could have been disastrous. You're throwing a screen right into Nasser, and I imagine that might have been one of the new plays that got inserted this week. You want to be sure in this situation.
Well, and you've got a kid in the backfield that hasn't been playing much. He played last week a little bit. Still new to the offense.
Yep.
And, right now you got to keep it simple for the kids that have just been coming out.
But when you have a -6 turnover ratio, you've got to manage those situations because that's almost going to be a turnover. All-out blitz by the Dons. And Congdon was thinking the 9 route, Shahada ran the curl, and it goes incomplete, and it'll be 3rd and 10.
Well, I'm not sure of the protection right there, what they were trying to do, but they free-released everybody, and they only had 5 in to block 6. So you're going to get somebody free. They actually brought 7 right there. 2 guys came free, and you can't do that and expect to have a lot of success with it because you've got to get the ball out of your hands so quickly. And with the type of coverage Amador is doing, those deep passes are not going to be too effective.
You watch Monte Vista football on NorCal Sports TV.
Hi, I'm Dr. Michael Miklich. I'm an orthopedic surgeon subspecializing in orthopedic sports medicine. The type of patients that I commonly see span anything from those coming fresh off the sports athletic fields with injury to people who haven't been on.
Family owned and operated since 1946 as a full-service jewelry store, Spitz Jewelers has remained true to our founding philosophies. Founded on the tradition of service, quality, and value, today we proudly continue that tradition from the smallest request to the most intricate custom design. We love what we do, and with 3 generations of success as our inspiration, we look forward to
Amador with a nickel defense.
It'll be 3rd and 10 for the Mustangs. Congdon back to pass. Nasser with the pressure. Diebner with the catch. Mustangs move the chains.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
What we used to call this the skinny post or the 4 route. Diebner's wide open.
Yeah, and Amador's coming with a 3-man rush, and they're dropping 8 into coverage. And that's really a blown assignment out of the inside linebacker, not dropping deep enough to get into the hole.
But you have 3 Don defenders that heels are at 25, 30 yards on 3rd and 10. Play the chains. Mustangs looking to make it back-to-back scores. Homecoming 2022. You can't. That's 2 forward passes. It should be a penalty.
Yes, it should.
Should be a penalty. Because they have the shovel on the fly sweep,
and
I think Kenny's going to get a talk to. I think they're going to throw the flag. You can't throw 2 forward passes, but apparently not. And the Mustangs get a break.
That is 2 forward passes, and that is a blatant missed call.
Yes,
out of our good friend.
That's a mechanical thing. So the Mustangs get a break. Now, that'd probably be something I'd run in scout team back in the day, but, you know. You got Diebner one-on-one down here at the bottom of your screen.
No free safety help.
Motion across the formation by Chong. We've got an in-window screen to Diebner. And he picks up 3. In-window, middle screen, down-the-line screen, whatever you want to call it.
Tunnel screen.
Screen. But this, you've got to pass set and then get up the field. You got linemen stopping right in the middle of the field. When you're out there, you run right at the guy you're going to block. Do not turn and go the other way. You want to work downfield. Don't work back to the quarterback. You got to work down the field. Don't evaluate. Run at somebody. You can't be wrong. Mustangs in a bunch formation. 3rd and a long 6 here. Congdon, and it's a sack. Not quite sure
what they were trying to develop on that. When he fakes it, there's nothing out this way, nowhere for him to go.
And I don't have that gentleman's name, wasn't on the roster, but nevertheless, he got a sack. So now it's going to be 4th and 13, and the Dons are going to play with a safety 22 yards off the field. And the corners are 10 yards off the ball. You got to be able to find a soft cushion in there.
Punt formation here.
Oh, that's why you keep you around. I thought he'd be going for it because they're just going to kick it into the end zone. And it's going to be a 11-yard punt. So we'll keep it right here. Mustangs took over on downs but couldn't take advantage of the short field, and they punt, and the Dons, with just their second possession of the game, will take over on the touchback.
A lot of miscommunication in that drive. And those are the things that we've talked about that have happened in the past. Got to eliminate.
Got to simplify, and almost a near interception on a screen gone awry. Mustangs with the pressure. Mustangs with the sack. William Barth getting his 4th TFL of the season. Just kept coming on the pass rush and gets home. You know what I loved about that? He just kept playing. Got blocked several times. Sometimes it's not about strength and speed. It's about just playing hard.
It's effort, and not expecting somebody else to make the play.
Exactly.
Never expect somebody else to make the play. You make the play yourself.
Here comes a screen. 2nd and 16. I would expect screen. 2-by-2 set. We used to call this eagle. And here comes the screen, and the Mustangs got it sniffed out. If I know it's coming, hope they know it's coming. Goldsworthy, another loss, 2 plays in a row. Now the Dons are even further behind the chains. It'll be 3rd down. That'll be the last play of the first quarter. Monte Vista leads Amador 7-0. You're watching Monte Vista football on NorCal Sports TV, presented by American Asphalt.
Totally freezing, the whole thing.
So it'll be 3rd and 18. And the Mustangs need to play situational football. And we had mentioned in the break, Nassar hasn't touched the football. Mustangs got to play situational ball and not bite on a fake, Coach. And they're just going to run the ball. And the Mustangs are all over it. And the Dons will have to punt.
Good, sensible play call.
Yes.
Don't try and get something out of nothing.
With a backup quarterback.
We always say sometimes punting's not a bad thing.
Very good. So Shahada will be back deep. It's very important that he catches this football. Don't let it bounce and lose negative yardage. It never comes up in a stat sheet, but it's so important.
He's awfully deep. He's about 50 yards deep.
It'd be a 40-yard punt, and the Mustangs will start back on their 3rd possession of the game on their own 45-yard line.
You make a great point right there. We just lost, as me being from Monte Vista, we just lost 15 yards. There's very few high school kids that are going to kick it 50 yards in the air.
Most certainly.
And they've got to understand that and line up accordingly.
So those are the things that add up and build up over time that put you in negative situations that you need to improve on. Those game management, that's a young football team. But, you're also in week 7, so you've got to, those things need to start cleaning up. And they're off to a good start tonight. I'd give the ball to McMahon. They're going to throw the football, throw it to him in the flat. Now, I like this play, Coach, because he didn't run all the way to the flat. They did that last week. They couldn't find him. There he looks like he's stopping at the hash mark, and you see how good he is in space.
And you get it out of your hands. I mean, it really helps the quarterback. He doesn't have a guy in his face. He's able to get rid of it quick. Get it to your athletes in space. Let them do something with it.
I like how McMahon just kind of sat down in the zone, didn't try to run all the way out to the flat. Looks like a little bit of an option route, and then we've got a timeout waiting for the chains to get reset. But the Mustangs doing a very good job of throwing the football, and they just manage situations. Had to get a player out of the game. Gates getting off the field. Don's playing with a single safety, going to rush 4.
They're sticking in a very basic 40 front, four down linemen, 4 linebackers, and keeping it simple. They're going to need to change some things if Monte Vista keeps having success throwing the ball underneath.
All right, we'll get back underway here. 1st and 10 for the Mustangs after the McMahon catch and run, and then they'll give him the football. I like the cut there. Didn't get much, but if he kept bouncing outside, would have probably been a TFL for the Dons.
Well, but he finished north and south, and he got positive yards. He turned a minus gain or a minus play into a 2-yard gain.
So it's 2nd and 8. Big deal.
Like to see the right tackle be a little more aggressive off the line instead of it looked more like a pass set than it did a run block.
But if he pass sets and goes to the backer, you don't even need to block 88 to get so far up the field. So it'll be 2nd and 9 for the Mustangs. Congdon, 0. We love the 0 route, and he's wide open, and your hands will never drop a ball that you catch with your eyes, and here's a prime example.
You feel yourself so wide open, and you look to run, and it's a classic example right here. He's looking to run before he caught it. Head goes up the field.
He's looking at number 3.
Got to catch first, run second.
So it'll be 3rd and 9 for the Mustangs. And it's also, too, is be able to feel that next defender and maybe not stopping, but like you used to say, dial it down a little bit so when he catches, he can get right up the field. 3rd and 9 for the Mustangs, and the Dons are bringing the house. And it's a fast screen to Diebner, but the turf monster sharks him. It'll be 4th down, and I imagine the Mustangs are going to punt.
Well, I think Mateo's got to let that develop a little bit more. He threw the ball too quickly on that situation. When you're letting the lineman, you got to draw those linemen to you. Draw them to you and slip it over. You'll see it gets out of his hands way too quick. Never let the play get set up.
So it's 4th and 9. The Mustangs had it 4th. These are situation where with a punt you put them back in their own end zone,
and your defense is playing really well,
but we're closer on their last possession, but punted. And it's an interception. Nate Jeter, and he returns this to the 30, and Diebner with the nice hustles chicken strips the football, and the Mustangs get it back. Watch number 1. Doesn't quit on this play and comes back and gets the chicken strip.
Terrific hustle. Just terrific hustle, not giving up on it.
Threw that one right into coverage. Watch Diebner. He'll be coming into your screen pretty soon from the other side. There he is. And the strip. And the Mustangs recover, and it'll be 1st and 10 for the 20.
It's nice to see a break go the Mustangs' way. Haven't got many this year.
A break? That is a heck of a break. So that's a turnover for the Mustangs. That's Congdon's 9th interception, but he owes Diebner a sandwich for coming back and getting the chicken strip.
2 turnovers on the same play.
Most certainly. Statistician's nightmare.
There's that backside again. He's got to do a better job of reading that. He can't be afraid to pull that and run. And when that kid's crashing down so hard, you're not going to get a lot out there, but you're going to keep him honest, and then he's going to keep him from crashing down. It's going to help you in the long run. He comes screaming down the line. Nobody contained him on the outside. He's got to pull that, and he's got to run.
So it'll be 2nd and 10 for the Mustangs.
And you can see the look on his face. He knew it as soon as he did it.
3-by-2 set. 2nd and 10. Hitch, catch, 5 yards, make it 3rd and 5. Nothing wrong with that play. You would run that at least 6 times a game. And if they weren't stopping it, you keep going to it.
Well,
then you run a hitch and go off
If they're going to give you that kind of cushion, and what we said it before, it's a long handoff. And just get it to them as quick as you can. You're not going to get 100 yards out of it, a 90-yard run. You're going to get 5, 6, put yourself in the situation that they have right now.
So Clausen with another catch. It'll be 3rd and 5 for the Mustangs. Meineke. And then Broughton, but he doesn't get the first down. He's got 24. We used to call this a little, when we ran 2-back, F-rub sneak. He's got Meineke wide open. Hits Broughton, and he's going to be short of the chains, and the Mustangs will have to punt.
Really nice tackle out of the Amador Valley safety. I didn't get the number. Just a textbook tackle if you want to teach kids how to do that. He ran through it, wrapped, did a really nice job of keeping him short, not letting him advance the football.
Meineke's wide open on the crossing route. The Mustangs will punt. Now, they had a punt block return for a touchdown last week against Cal. So I imagine the Dons have that in their arsenal tonight.
It looks like they were going punt safe. They're only rushing 4, trying to set up a return.
Risky play. Takes a knee, Nate Jeter, and the Dons will take over on their own 40-yard line. Want to thank our partners, Orthopedic Express by GSOS, Golden State Orthopedics and Spine, Ned Milin and Morgan Stanley, Spitz Jewelers, George T. Schramm Mortgage, Contra Costa Office of Education, edTV, and American Asphalt. Full house backfield for the Dons. Bad snap. And it'll be another loss for the Dons. Bad snap, and any time in a shotgun you have a bad snap, you're going to have a bad play.
It just throws the timing out, especially a running play. Running plays are just, they've got to have the timing, and it just disrupts everything out of the shotgun.
So it'll be 2nd and 11 for the Dons. They'll run some new players on as they break formation. Now they'll be in the pistol, 2-by-2 set. On 2nd and 3rd and long, they like to run screens or fake the screen and go deep. Sprint right. 7-yard gain, nice timing and a catch, and Jetter's out in the flat, makes the play.
Well-designed play. Sprint into the boundary. A lot of teams don't expect you to do that. Just pick up what you can, make it a 3rd and manageable.
58 sprint. Don't get greedy. Nice gain. 3rd and very manageable. 3rd and 2 for the Dons. And Brady Nasser, quite a player for the Dons. 3-star rated player going to Colorado. 12 other offers, plays both ways, and we've already seen him make a couple of nice plays already tonight. Looking for him to get his first touch, though. Meineke comes up, doesn't make the tackle, but forces the running back to cut it up the field, and the Mustangs rally up, and Broughton and company make the play. It'll be 4th down. They got to pay attention here.
Yeah, this is a scenario where they like to fake the punt here. It's a great situation for that. I would expect Monte Vista to probably be in a punt safe, where they line up at more of a normal defense and defend it rather than look for a return.
Well, they only have 10 guys. There's a late arrival on Don's Airlines getting held up at TSA is Lopez, and the clock will wind. And Balch will punt. Returners are lining up so deep, and it's a non-return for the Mustangs. If you just move up, we see that again, Jace, on the punt.
You know, it costs you almost one and a half first downs. You look at it in 10-yard increments. If you catch that ball 15 yards further up, that's one less first down you have to get.
Lining up too deep. Don't let that ball hit the ground. So those are just the small things that just add up that you got to manage. So the Mustangs will take over on their own 14-yard line. And the Dons continue with that same defense. And then the Dons line up offsides. So it'll give the Mustangs a free 5 yards. So instead of 1st and 10, it'll be 1st and 5 from the 19. You love these situations.
You know, I love the way he's mixing up the count right there. You don't want to run on the same count every time. The defense starts teeing off on you, which they have been. And they've been getting pressure on them. They haven't necessarily gotten to them every time, but they're awfully close. And to mix the count up will slow that rush down.
So the benefits of mixing up your count is when you've got some changes on that offensive line. You give them the defense something to think about. Play pass, slant route, catch, run to the 50, the 40, the 30.
Don't block him.
The 10. Touchdown. Monte Vista Mustangs. Jacob Chong. Chong with the catch and the 80-yard touchdown reception.
A little RPO right there, a little run-pass option. You'll see he's reading the linebacker. Linebacker flows with it. When you look at the replay, leaves a huge void for the slant to come right in. If you're looking right here, he's going to flow with it. If we get a chance to see it. Okay, he's going to flow with it right here. And the slant's going to come right behind him on the run.
He steps upside, and they run right behind him. And the Mustangs take advantage, and Chong with the 81-yard touchdown catch and run. And the Mustangs with an extra point will move up 14-0. These are so important. And the kick is up, and it's good. Monte Vista leads Amador 14-0. You're watching Monte Vista football on NorCal Sports TV.
At Golden State Orthopedics and Spine, we want you to get your swing back, get your ride back, get your sprint back. With our top-to-toe orthopedic care throughout the Bay Area, we want you to get your life back. Golden State Orthopedics and Spine, ortho care for life.
On the phone, on TV, it's all messed up.
Kickoff sponsored by George T. Schramm Mortgage. Go to georgeschramm.com for your purchase or refinance mortgage needs. Short kick taken around the 13-yard line. The Mustangs break down in space, get just outside the 21-yard line, but pretty good kickoff coverage by the Mustangs. Harrington with the play. Let's go look at that last play from Congdon to Chong.
When we say RPO, it's a run-pass option where the quarterback is designed to, he's reading a particular player on each play. And in this scenario, he's reading 8. He's reading number 8, and he comes screaming, not 8, excuse me, I believe it's number 9. And as he comes screaming inside, the slant right behind him happens.
So the Mustangs up 14-0. Sprint right option. It's intercepted! And guess who? Number 21, Jacob Chong.
It's a pretty nice two-play sequence.
It is a great two-play sequence. You can't get much better than that unless he returns it pick six Santa Anita style. Chong reads this perfectly. Bad snap.
Throws the timing off once again.
And a nice read by Chong. Just had an 81-yard touchdown reception. And then the pick six. So Chong with the pick.
Well, the missed snap right there, or the late snap, throws the timing off. Now he makes a poor decision throwing into triple coverage right there. The quarterback's got to realize in that scenario, hey, run with it, throw it away.
Pick up
whatever
5
you got to
yards.
do.
Throw
pick
it in
it
the
up.
stands.
Don't give yourself a chance to make another play.
3-by-1 set for the Mustangs.
No safety.
Meineke is in at running back next to Congdon.
Playing zero coverage right here.
And then it's going to be delay of.
Well, if Amador comes back with the same coverage, we should have a play to try and take advantage
He's
of that.
actually going to give the Mustangs a timeout. So we'll keep it here. So that touchdown reminded me of our Ned Milin alumni moment for the longest touchdowns in Monte Vista football history. It was by Sam DeSaw from Kyle Wright, 91 yards on October 18th, 2002. 4 players are tied for second with a 90-yard touchdown reception. But it was 1 year later. Matt Russi, you'll tell me the route after we get done. On October 18th of 2003, he had a running catch for 90 yards from Brett Fisher. What was the route?
It was a little inside 4 route. It was a little inside 4 route against man coverage. I believe it was against Antioch.
No, it was against Amador.
It was against Amador.
At Amador.
And he caught it and outran everybody. The big fella running right down the middle of the field, took it to the sidelines, and outran everybody.
He'd shaved the morning before, had a full beard by the end of the game, Matt Russi. 3-by-1 set. And the Dons look like they're blitzing. You just get it out to Meineke, and it's a double pass. And it looks like my scout team going into the week going against Foothill. That's their third double pass today.
I don't, it's actually
Fine.
It's a great opportunity to run something like that. You've got the momentum. You're coming off a turnover. You're already in 4-down territory.
You're 1-5 and you're having some fun. And they haven't turned the football over. Should have been called for a double pass on 2 possessions ago. Weren't. That's fine.
Well, they actually did turn the football over.
No, they haven't turned the ball over on the trick plays. Don't correct me on the air anymore, Coach. Shallow route, 0 route, not there. Congdon will run. Nice decision, and then he's crushed in space. Lederer with the hit, and then one of the Mustangs' offensive linemen didn't appreciate the treatment, but it'll be second down. And this is where you buy one, get one free. If he wraps up Congdon here, just comes in with the shoulder instead of wrapping up, right there.
Not sure he actually saw him coming. It looks like he took his head to the outside, maybe didn't see that happening. One thing that I think Monte Vista's got to do, they're having a real hard time in blocking Nasser. I think they're going to have to try and keep a back over there to maybe help their left tackle because he's a load. And they got to do something to slow him down because he's really disrupting the passing lanes.
Used to say, take advantage of his aggressiveness. So it'll be third down, clock running. And then we've got a player improperly equipped. So 88 will have to come out of the game. And coming in for him is Keaton Lai. So it'll be third down for the Mustangs.
This is a situation. Get half of it back. You are in 4-down territory. You don't need to try and force it to the chains in this situation.
Dons are going to blitz. They're already shown early on. Diebner in motion. Staring him down. Got Diebner. The catch. The drop. He dropped one last week for a touchdown against Cal High. And you just got to look that one all the way in, fall down, and it's a touchdown. Diebner's wide open. Great play design.
You got to take advantage of these situations. Nice touch. Really, really impressed with the touch right here, Mateo, over the top. Good read. Put it right on the money. Gave him the protection he needed. Got to finish those plays.
It missed opportunity last week on an in-breaking route. Similar to that was a walk-in touchdown. And when you're 1-5, you're looking for guys to make the play.
And that's a real important play because the way Amador plays, They want to run the football. They want to slow the game down. They get down 21-0, they're going to have to get out of their game plan and start throwing the football.
Or even 17. If you get 5-6 yards, Jungi's got the ability to make a field goal, and now they're going to bring him on here. It's a long kick. It's a 46-yard attempt.
Well, really, it's 36 as long as it crosses the line.
You'll explain the rule. And it's good as a punt, and we'll after the timeout, we'll let you explain. You're watching Monte Vista football on NorCal Sports TV.
Jack Reed.
At Golden State Orthopedics and Spine, we want you to get your swing back, get your ride back, get your sprint back. With our top-to-toe orthopedic care throughout the Bay Area, we want you to get your life back. Golden State Orthopedics and Spine, ortho care for life.
Come out of it, Jay. We're fine. Full house backfield. Full house backfield for the Dons. They trail by 14. And there he goes. Good gain by Goldsworthy. But then we've got a penalty flag on the field. And when the umpire throws that, Coach, it's usually a hold, and that's the case. So now the Dons, once again, will be playing behind the chains.
Going back to the field goal, it was a great opportunity for Monte Vista to do it.
Explain the rule about the ball getting into the end zone.
And we mentioned it on kickoffs, and field goals are no different. If that ball crosses the goal line in the air at any point, crosses that plane, the ball's dead, and it's going to go out to the 20. Just like when they attempted to punt from the 40 and the ball sailed into the end zone, they got it on the 20. So it's no different than a punt, and you have an opportunity to make 3 points. So I think it was a perfect time to try a longer field goal.
George T. Schramm Mortgage. Contact the 1992 Monte Vista alum, George Schramm at georgeschramm.com for your new or refinance mortgage needs. Appreciate George's support of Monte Vista football and NorCal Sports TV. So let's go over those three keys to victory. Monte Vista first was great push with the defensive line. So far, so good, Coach. Be efficient on offense and balance. You'd probably like to see them run the football a little bit, and they're playing tough. I think the tough play that was demonstrated was when they threw the pick and Diebner came back and got the chicken strip and got the ball back for the Mustangs.
And the stop on fourth down. Stopping the Amador's bread and butter, their power game, and stopping them on fourth down to get good field position. I know they didn't do anything with it, but that was a nice trend, a nice tone setter for the game.
So the Dons was win the turnover ratio. They're even. No big pass plays. The Mustangs have hit them for a couple and pound the rock. They've had a real trouble of running the football. And they're going to go heavy formation here with the fullback and the pistol. Twins. And it's a bad snap, and Goldsworthy kicks it into the end zone, and the Mustangs recover, I believe. Wait for the signal. Touchdown, Monte Vista! There's got to be a handful of bad snaps, and it can't get much worse than this. Broughton with the recovery in the end zone, and the Mustangs lead 20-0. Just a horrible snap. And then Goldsworthy kicks it into the end zone, and Broughton with the recovery. Nice job by him, and the Mustangs looking to move up and move ahead by 3 scores. Jungi on to kick. McMahon, or Clausen rather, will hold. The kick is up, and it's good, and the Mustangs lead 21-0. You're watching, we'll see this last play, just about the 5th or 6th bad snap for the Dons. After the 3rd bad snap, you're probably just going to go into the center, knowing you.
I would have been under the center anyway. Right now it's the big trend in all of football to be in the shotgun. Not in the NFL as much, but in high school and college football, the big trend is to be in the shotgun. And you see more of that happening every game that you watch. And it's all cyclical. It'll come back. This is the single wing was run 60 years ago, which is you're in the shotgun, you got a back in the back, and you're doing exactly what they're doing. It will come back. Everything comes back around.
So Broughton having a nice senior season, averaging nearly 8.5 tackles a game, 4 TFLs, and they're a dream to get the fumble recovery in the end zone. And the Mustangs up 21-zip here on Homecoming 2022. Thanks for joining us wherever you may be on this Friday night here in Danville. Directional kick by Jungi, taken by Harrington, the freshman. Nice return by him, taken out to the 43-yard line. Tackle by Wyatt Eakin. And the Dons will take over on their own 42. Watch Harrington switch the ball here, and that could be very risky.
I was going to mention the exact same thing. And, you know, when you're in traffic like that, you know, you want to change it to the hand, but when you're in traffic like that, you're in danger of getting it stripped. We've already seen it once tonight.
The Dons will continue in the shotgun, which has not been very successful for them.
Another low snap.
Throw out to the flat, and it's a first down. That's the best play in a while for the Dons. Jetter with another reception, and he'll get that ball into Mustang territory. But, Coach, we talk about key 3 possessions. You mentioned it in the opening. First possession of the game, last possession of the first half, and your first possession of the third quarter. The Dons get the football to start the second half, so they can get right back into this ball game with a score here and possible winning outs. Another bad snap. Mustangs will get home.
Once again, the product of a bad snap.
Barth with the sack.
The snap is really throwing their timing off, and the quarterback doesn't have a chance to set his feet because he's going down low to try and get the snap. It bounces to him, and then he comes up, and the timing is all off with the routes they're trying to run.
Okay, situational football here. The Dons are going to try to milk this clock. If they don't get any yards here on 2nd and 20, you going to call a timeout?
I wouldn't hear. I'd wait for the next one because you only have one left, and at least force the punt.
58 sprint. Nasser open in the flat, but then gets the second option and a nice gain. Greth with the catch, the senior, and
now,
it'll make it 3rd and 5.
You know, and this is a scenario where I might think about taking a timeout because it's a big down, and you want to make sure you have the correct play called.
Dons don't spend much time in the huddle. Get right back out. Got to play the situation here. And maybe being 4 down territory might be a double move for the Dons. Throw to the chains, and it's caught, and it's a first down. Nice job by Greth. But you're keeping the Dons in front, not letting a receiver get behind him.
Yeah, and if you're Amador, you've got plenty of time. 1:12 with 2 timeouts. That's an eternity in high school football. And so they don't need to panic right here.
2-by-2 set. Throw to the chains. And another catch. Jetter having quite a football game.
And they could keep doing that. Monte Vista's given them such a cushion. You know, with almost a minute left with 2 timeouts, you can run that play another 5 times.
And memories of a drive against San Ramon where we ran off 13 plays in like 58 seconds. It was incredible. Double move. Throw into the end zone. And it's intercepted. Intercepted. Great coverage and not biting. Andrew White read this like a book, Coach.
Yeah, you know, he really did a nice job of staying home. They're playing so deep. I don't understand why they threw a double move with a guy 12 yards off. Keep throwing, keep doing what you're doing. Take that 6-7 yards.
The corner did a great job of Chong just dropped. He didn't bite on the move. Now, here's an important situation for the Mustangs. Just sneak it, get it out of the end zone, go into the locker room or down to the corner of the end zone, up 21-0. There's that last play, defensive play by the Mustangs. Their second interception of the game.
And still being in the shotgun.
So the Mustangs have created 3 turnovers tonight. Ay, ay, ay. McMahon. So the Mustangs will have to run one more play if the officials mechanically manage this game by the rules. And he's asking, no, and Kenny Leff will say, no, you don't have to run a play. So we're mentioning that is that he got tackled with 43 seconds left. So by rule, by rule, you'd have to run one more play, but
Kenny's got a 9 o'clock dinner reservation.
He must.
Well, this is a scenario right there. I would have forced them. I'd be upset if I was Amador. I'd want them to run another play so we could call timeout, have the opportunity to fair catch a ball, and get a free kick. And we'll probably need to discuss that.
We'll make we'll go Vince Scully, and we'll make a note for later. So we'll do a quick recap. Monte Vista, in their first drive of the game, Congdon to Breedlove for a 2-yard touchdown, and the Mustangs led 7-0. Then Chong took it 81 yards for the Mustangs touchdown, and the next play got an interception. And then the Mustangs, on a handful of bad snaps by the Dons offense, Broughton with the recovery in the end zone, and the Mustangs lead 21-0. You're watching Monte Vista football on NorCal Sports TV. Yeah. Family owned and operated since 1946 as a full-service jewelry store, Spitz Jewelers has remained true to our founding philosophies. Founded on the tradition of service, quality, and value, today we proudly continue that tradition from the smallest request to the most intricate custom design. We love what we do, and with 3 generations of success as our inspiration, we look forward to continuing these traditions into the future. Come see us at 1333 North Main Street in Walnut Creek. Spitz Jewelers, making memories for over 75 years. Go Mustangs! Ned Milin has over 16 years of experience in the financial industry, serving high net worth individuals, their families, business owners, and corporate executives. Ned practically helps to develop and implement portfolio enhancements in order to provide the appropriate investment strategy for clients. He also focuses on relationship management, comprehensive business management, and asset management and research. Please contact the 1998 Monte Vista alum, Ned Milin, to develop a plan for your family or company. Ned Milin at Morgan Stanley, seeking to help you simplify your financial life and realize the future you envision.
At Golden State Orthopedics and Spine, we want you to get your swing back, get your ride back, get your sprint back. With our top-to-toe orthopedic care throughout the Bay Area, we want you to get your life back. Golden State Orthopedics and Spine, ortho care for life.
Monte Vista football on NorCal Sports TV, presented by American Asphalt, is brought to you in part by Orthopedic Express by GSOS. When injuries occur, visit our specialty orthopedic urgent care in Walnut Creek. Golden State Orthopedics and Spine. Be your best active self, whether tiny or big, 2 or 102, or a world-class grandparent. You can find care with our expert, compassionate orthopedic doctors. Ned Milin at Morgan Stanley, seeking to help you simplify your financial life and realize the future you envision. Spitz Jewelers, making memories for over 75 years in Walnut Creek. George T. Schramm Mortgage. Contact the 1992 Monte Vista alum George Schramm at georgeschramm.com for your new or refinance mortgage needs. Contra Costa Office of Education. Learn, lead, achieve. edTV, Contra Costa County Education Television, and American Asphalt, taking care of business in the Bay Area for over 35 years.
Hi, I'm Dr. Michael Miklich. I'm an orthopedic surgeon subspecializing in orthopedic sports medicine. The type of patients that I commonly see span anything from those coming fresh off the sports athletic fields with injury to people who haven't been on an athletic field for a couple decades. Athletic injuries I take care of often are acute injuries coming off the athletic field, such as strains, sprains, ligamentous tears, injuries to cartilage, tendon tears. And one of the things I always say is you can't redshirt a year in high school. You can't take a year off and get it back. High school sports is something that gives many amazing memories, a lot of experiences for growth for the student athletes and their families. And that's one thing that I really focus on is how can we get you back safely doing what you so badly want to do. Big thing that puts a smile on my face, it happens very frequently, is when a patient has gone through surgery, they're very happy, they come up, thumbs up, big smiles on their face, they want to give me a hug. That's what makes me want to keep doing what I do. If you find yourself on the unexpected, unwanted end of a sports injury, or if you simply have that lingering ache and pain, this is something that I'd be happy to address with you.
At Golden State Orthopedics and Spine, we want you to get your swing back, get your ride back, get your sprint back. With our top-to-toe orthopedic care throughout the Bay Area, we want you to get your life back. Golden State Orthopedics and Spine, ortho care for life.
Family owned and operated since 1946 as a full-service jewelry store, Spitz Jewelers has remained true to our founding philosophies. Founded on the tradition of service, quality, and value, today we proudly continue that tradition from the smallest request to the most intricate custom design. We love what we do, and with 3 generations of success as our inspiration, we look forward to continuing these traditions into the future. Come see us at 1333 North Main Street in Walnut Creek. Spitz Jewelers, making memories for over 75 years. Go Mustangs!
I'm at 0 at the moment. Okay. Yeah, sorry. I'm just trying to figure out what that was.
So halftime, Monte Vista leads Amador 21-zip. First half statistics for Amador Valley: 4 first downs, 55 yards of total offense, 14 yards rushing, and that's not exactly pounding the rock if you're Amador, and 41 yards passing. And the Dons have turned the ball over 4 times. They've had 2 interceptions, a snap that went for a touchdown that Broughton recovered in the end zone. Then they had an interception, and then on the return, Diebner came from behind, got the strip, and Monte Vista got the fumble recovery. For the Mustangs, 9 first downs on offense, 181. He returns this to the 30, and Diebner with the nice hustle, and 169 yards passing. Chong had an 81-yard touchdown reception, and several guys have a couple of receptions. The Mustangs got a 2-yard completion from Congdon to Breedlove to put the Monte Vista Mustangs up 7-0. And then Chong, 81-yard catch and run. PAT was good, and the Mustangs led 14-0. And then Broughton with that fumble recovery in the end zone, and the Mustangs are up 21-0. They will kick off to start the second half. And here's some highlights. And that's Chong's touchdown that went for 81 yards on the in route, taking advantage of the Dons' aggressiveness. And our camera person was so the Mustangs had some breaks. I think the key play of the first half was the interception by Congdon, and then Diebner running that play from behind, and then also the 4th down stop. So the Mustangs up 21-zip. Things are going well for them. 169 yards passing for Congdon. He is 13 of 19 with 1 interception. Diebner with the strip. Chong and White with interceptions, and Broughton with the fumble recovery in the end zone for a touchdown. That's 4 turnovers for the Dons. So the Mustangs will kick off, and back to return is Harrington, the freshman. Jungi will kick off. A lot of football game left, but when you're struggling offensively just to get the snap on the shotgun, which you would have dismantled by now.
And I think the quarterback, he's a little shell-shocked right now back there because he's, as we've said before, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but he's been running around with the timing all messed up. And he's got to not force the football. He's got to keep him in the play. He's got to keep him in the game. And as we said multiple times, punting's not bad. Don't force the ball into a turnover.
Kickoff sponsored by George T. Schramm Mortgage. Go to georgeschramm.com for your purchase or refinance mortgage needs. The MV Football Hall of Famer, Colorado State alum, George Schramm Mortgage. I think we also, as coaches, we got to put players in a position to be successful. On that last drive for Amador Valley, they're dinking and dunking all the way down the field. Mustangs are playing a prevent defense. We said we were going to talk about it. I didn't forget. I made a note. They go for a double move and throw an interception.
That's kind of outthinking yourself. You gotta understand that the game, the clock moves so slowly in high school. Everything can stop it. And take what they give you.
Harrington with the return to the 27-yard line, where the Dons will start out on offense, and this is going to be an important drive for Amador Valley. And the Mustangs need to be leery of continue to rally up, and they have just stopped the Dons' running game. They've only given up 14 yards rushing, Coach.
And that's their bread and butter, and if you're stopping them and force them to beat you left-handed, which is throwing the ball for them, And that's not something they want to do.
And they're under the center. Somebody learned here. We call this, it's to be a it's going to be a stretch run to Goldsworthy, and he picks up a nice chunk to start off, a little 4 or 5 yard gain, but Goldsworthy with the run along the Mustang sideline, and he'll pick up 4 positive gain for Coach Jones.
Little strange action in the backfield. I think that the running back went the wrong way, and then it kind of looked like a counter because of his action in the backfield, but he went the wrong way.
And he made me go tell us, and, you know.
I spoke with Ken Leffel at halftime and got a little clarification on what we thought was a double pass.
Yes.
And it was their
interpretation.
Their interpretation.
That's a big word for Chico State.
The second pass did not cross the line of scrimmage there, therefore it wasn't deemed a second pass.
Nasser out in the flat, and he's brought down. Meineke does a nice job out in space. Nasser, only about a yard of yak after that play, but Meineke bringing the wood as he always does, the very durable senior football player, and it's going to be a 3rd down and 4, and there's Meineke out in the flat.
Good decision. Came in low, too. You don't want to take a big guy on like that. He took him out right there at the legs where he didn't have a chance to advance that ball.
So Gannon, the quarterback, only threw for 41 yards. Much of that, Coach, was in the last drive for the Dons where they moved the ball at will, dinking and dunking. Goldsworthy in motion. It's going to be the wing counter. And Nasser. That's why. And then he fumbles a football, and the Mustangs recover. Chong with the fumble recovery. And let's see who gets the chicken strip and the 5th turnover for Amador Valley.
Well, we talked, all first half about trying to get the ball to Nasser, and they do, and they're successful, but he's got to hold on to the football.
Breedlove with the chicken strip, and that is the 5th turnover for Amador Valley tonight. And we said one of the keys, win the turnover ratio. Well, unless things get ugly for Monte Vista, that is not going to happen. The Mustangs take over on the sudden change. They'll go bunch formation here. McMahon in the backfield. Play action pass. Congdon doesn't attack the line of scrimmage, and he's sacked. Don't ever pull up, and I'll let you take it from there, Coach.
You know what? When you're breaking contain, you break contain. If you pull up, you're going to get caught from behind. It's going to the receivers that you're going to roll to are now not in your sight line. And so nothing good happens on that. He'd be better off coming out full speed, trying to outrun the lineman. If you see a 50s number, you got to believe you should be able to outrun him. And don't pull up on that. Keep coming.
Nathan Albright with the sack, and it's going to be about a 10-yard loss for the Mustangs. They're playing way behind the chain, 2nd and 20.
I do like, though, how he didn't force the ball.
It's a screen to McMahon, and the Mustangs did not set this up at all. And Lederer is all over this play. But then he's down. You know what? That's a shoulder pop out, and hopefully he's okay. But here's the screen, not set up at all, and a pretty good job by the defensive lineman there, number 88. Don't have his name, not on the roster on Max Preps, but didn't do a good job of setting up the screen to the boundary.
Really nice tackle. I'm very, very impressed with how the Amador kids have been tackling today.
They always hit.
And they're not just that, their form is very good. They've been coached at it very well. And you never want to see a kid get hurt, but he certainly did a nice job of tackling the correct way.
Might have been just a stinger. That's Lederer, who's called his name a few times tonight. So now it's 3rd down and 20, and we talk about managing the situation. You're up 3 touchdowns. Do not force the football down the field. It's okay to punt.
It's okay to punt. Put yourself in a situation, maybe try and get 5-6 yards back to help with the field position.
Flip that field.
But you don't have – you're running against a nickel front here where they're only going to rush 3. Perfect opportunity to run the football.
Congdon, and he's sacked. It was a screen, and Nasser with the sack. And Congdon getting up slowly.
Well, I guess that does officially go as a run.
I'm going to give him a sack. And also in that play is Alex Santana, the junior. So it's 4th and 31 for the Mustangs, or somewhat like that. Jungi will be on to kick. He had one block last week. Gets this one away. Fair catch by Jeter. Fumbles, then recovers, and the Dons will take over on their own 48-yard line. Not much of a kick, and the Dons are going to be in great field position. I just wonder if they just commit to the short passing game and getting the ball, running to here and there, they could get a touchdown. Because
they're running the football. I mean, right there, they had successful runs. They got to hold on to the football. They just can't turn the ball over. And who knows how they would be doing offensively. They've turned the ball over 5 times. They've never been able to sustain a drive on those. Had a chance to coach at half to talk to one of our favorites, Dave Kravitz.
Kravitz in the house.
The old San Ramon coach. Terrific person. Just one of the good guys out there.
So we've got strong right or weak left Twins, and it's Goldworthy on the reach, and he picks up 7 yards. The old run to the boundary out of the offset eye, and then the Dons are going to go a little tempo here and get right up to the football, but then they're going to be back in the shotgun, which has been a challenge for them.
Yeah, hopefully they did a few extra snaps at halftime just to try and rectify that situation.
Miles Tucker in motion. It's going to be a quick screen out here to the flat. It'll be a first down. Nice play and execution by the Dons, and they'll push that ball down to the Mustang about 39-yard line. Our next Monte Vista football game on NorCal Sports TV and edTV will be Friday, November 4th, as the Mustangs host the Wolves. Weak left Twins, and it's going to be a run to the bench. And a nice gain by Miles Tucker. And
if I'm Amador Valley, I'm going to stick with this. They're gashing them right now.
They are. So it'll be 2nd and a long 4, and just a boundary run, and a good job by the Amador offensive line of sealing the edge. But then the Dons go right back into the shotgun. Good snap, sprint right, throw and catch, and they're teamed up several times. Jeter with another catch.
And we're seeing that same coverage we saw at the end of the half where they're giving a big cushion, and Amador Valley's taking advantage of that. And I would expect more of the same. If they're going to give it to you, take it.
Talk about hugging the hash mark. They've stayed on this hash mark for the entire drive. Started on their own 47-yard line. They'll go full house backfield. Tucker back behind Nasser, and it's going to be a run up the gut, and breaks several tackles, breaks another tackle, down inside the 15, down to the 11-yard line, and the Dons are coming to life, and they'll get right up into the football. And they'll continue with that full house backfield. You got Albright, Nasser as fullbacks, and then the Mustangs will call timeout. You're watching Monte Vista football on NorCal Sports TV. Family owned and operated since 1946 as a full-service jewelry store, Spitz Jewelers has remained true to our founding philosophies. Founded on the tradition of service, quality, and value, today we proudly continue that tradition from the smallest request to the most intricate custom design. We love what we do, and with 3 generations of success as our inspiration, we look forward to continuing these traditions into the future. Come see us at 1333 North Main Street in Walnut Creek. Spitz Jewelers, making memories for over 75 years. Go Mustangs!
Billy Piona's down there, too.
Ned Milin has over 16 years of experience in the financial industry, serving high net worth individuals. Will come up to the line of scrimmage. 1st and 10 on the Mustangs' 11-yard line. They'll continue with that full house backfield. Another run inside, but this time the Mustangs rally up. Play cleaned up by Meineke, and it's going to be a short gain as the Dons get inside the 10-yard line.
Looked like he might pop through there. Did a nice job of wrapping inside, though.
The Dons have been running up-tempo. Now they're going to slow things down as they get inside the 10-yard line.
Tucker, I believe, got a little banged up on that last play.
Goldsworthy lined up behind the quarterback. Throw into the end zone, and it's incomplete. Good coverage as the Dons have been dinking and dunking. Then they try to run the corner out, and good coverage by the Mustangs weren't fooled whatsoever.
Kind of an unusual play call there when you're moving the ball down the field, running the ball effectively, throwing the short stuff, rolling out. To throw a fade, which is a very low percentage play, is almost a wasted down.
Simply 4-down territory. So it's going to be 3rd down and 9. The Dons will break formation in a 3-by-1 set. They don't have enough players on the line of scrimmage because Nassar is off the ball. So this should be an illegal formation. No call. Quarterback, that's a legal forward pass, and the flag will go down, and this will come back. So the first thing, Nassar wasn't lined up on the line of scrimmage. So they didn't have enough players to be eligible. And then an illegal forward pass. You can't throw it once your whole body is across the line of scrimmage, and this isn't even close. So illegal forward pass. So it'll be 4th down because it's a loss of down.
Costly play. You know, if you're Amador, I think their kicker's obviously got a good leg. I think you want to get something positive out of this drive and put some points on the board. I mean, you're moving the ball well. You didn't turn the ball over there. Got to get something to come away from this drive positive.
Fourth down, throw, incomplete, and the second time tonight, the Mustangs have held on downs, and they continue to throw the Sandy Koufax, throwing the shutout so far. Bend but don't break.
Two-man route, you know, the concept probably isn't what they should have down here. You want to have more than 2 options. You're throwing into double coverage. Both kids are going to be double covered because you're only releasing 2 guys. And got to have a little bit more imagination when you get into the red zone.
So Chong and Meineke do a good job of having coverage underneath that. And the Mustangs with the stop, and they'll take over with 6 minutes left here in the 3rd quarter, up 21-0. Thanks for joining us wherever you may. We appreciate you joining us here on NorCal Sports TV and edTV for this 2022 Monte Vista homecoming, which has been going very well for them so far tonight. And this is a chance to literally put the game away with a score. It's an RPO, and it goes incomplete, and we'll let Coach pull his hair out. And this is the third time, I believe, that they could have done something differently on this play pass.
Well, not just that. You just stopped. You got a good hold. You held them not to get no points. And you want to milk a little clock here. You want to give your defense a chance to rest. They were just out on the field for a long time. You want to get that clock moving and shorten the game.
And McMahon took the fake but didn't run. So I'm not sure if he knew what was going on. Congdon will throw complete and a hard hit. Coming up is Miles Tucker with the hit. But the Mustangs still get a pick up about 8 to 9 yards, and it'll be third and short. Quick pass. And Shahada gets immediately up the field. So it's 3rd and 1. Mustangs in the shotgun, 2-by-2 set. And then Amador jumps off sides. You could hear Congdon with headsets on clapping, and does a good job. It's the second time tonight, and that's hidden yardage. But that's gamesmanship, and that's where you see a quarterback growing in front of us.
Yeah, and he did a nice job with voice inflection as well. You could hear him bark at his cadence out in the clap, and that's not very good discipline out of the Amador defense. I know that they're trying to make something happen, but you got to be aware of those things anytime it's 3rd and less than 5.
Good job by Monte Vista, just closing your eyes and letting Amador jump off. So the Mustangs are an empty set. That's a risky throw. Mustangs, just go over this rushing for the season. The Mustangs are averaging 61.7 yards per game. They only have 3 offensive rushing touchdowns, which is on track for the lowest in Monte Vista football history. 370 yards and 125 of it last week. So when there's not a focus on the running game, those are the results. Congdon, catch, throw, very manageable 3rd and short, and Breedlove with another catch. He's had a great game tonight, just sitting down in the seam, soft part of the defense, and making the catch.
I'd like to see them use most of the 40 seconds here.
Mustangs are unsure. Now they line up, but now he's covering. Thank goodness that was a run, and it's stopped, because the Mustangs, it's a new formation, and somebody was covering the tight end. So if they would have thrown a pass and gone downfield, so the Mustangs, situations, you got to convert there on 3rd and less than 2, and the Mustangs will punt, and watch the Dons try to block a punt.
Well, I do like the fact that they did run the ball to keep that clock moving. When you've got a 21-0 lead against a team that wants to run the football, that's a tough task. That's a tough task to overcome if you're down 21 when you want to run the football.
Want to just punt this downfield and get coverage. Jungi, nice high kick. And the catch by Jeter. And the Dons will take over on the, and looks like we've got a player cramping in the center of the field. That might be Chong, I'm not sure. .38-yard line, Amador Valley will take over. Mustangs work 2:25 off that clock.
And this is about the time when Amador's got to decide what they want to do. There's
point.
Still enough time
Great point.
to stay with your offense. But you've got to pick up the tempo a little bit. And if you can still run the football, but you got to get in and out of the huddle or go with the up tempo. And you can't just rely on one thing. But I'd like to see if I'm Amador, I'm going to go back to the things that we've been successful for. I haven't seen them run the same formation 2 times in a row, other than the one time they ran the heavy set down on the goal line. They've been changing formations just about every play, even after a successful play. Hey, if it works, go to it.
Wyatt Eakin was cramping up in the middle of the field. He's escorted off the field, and the Dons will line up in weak left. 2 receivers, and it's going to be 28 reach to the boundary, and the Mustangs are all over it.
And they finally made an adjustment to that set.
Ballard with the TFL.
I think one of the things that Amador didn't do is they didn't set the twins to the boundary, which they would have been able to block that defender. The alley defender went unblocked because they didn't have that second receiver over there.
So the Dons playing behind the chains, and Mustangs have to sense a screen here. It's been the tendency for Coach Jones. So now they'll flip it, so they're going to go weak right, and then coming in motion is Greth, and it's going to be a throw to him, and picks up about 4 or 5 yards. Had 2 receivers in the same area. Nevertheless, great decision by the quarterback, Gannon, to get the completion.
And I'm trying to reckon back as to whether they have had an unsuccessful short pass like that. I think every time they've run one of those, they've been completed and got 6 or 7 yards. Yet they keep going away from it when it's working.
So it'll be 3rd down. Can the Mustangs get off the field on 3rd or 4th down? Throw to the chains, and Chong does a good job of playing situational football, and it'll be 4th down, and the Dons are going to go for it.
Well,
Now they're bringing on their punter.
Well, Cannon missed the open guy. They ran 2 outs, multi-layer outs. You look at the tight end, he's running a quick out. He's wide open to the flat, 88. All he's got to do is get it to him, and he falls forward for a 1st down. So,
and you're thinking that out might want to be just for spacing purposes, maybe just be a little bit deeper. Okay, we'll see if we can. We're still lining up so deep that we'll never catch this punt in the air. And we only lost 2 yards of field position there. Make it 3. But maybe that's a strategy not to catch the punt. We'll keep it here. It's 1:58 left in the quarter. Mustangs up 21-zip. And they will take over on their own 18-yard line.
And I think you've got to get this game to the quarter right here. You've got to be able to at least milk the 1:58 off that clock and get it into the 4th quarter and really put them behind the 8 ball.
So it'll be the Mustangs are short of personnel. Chong back into the field. It's a 3-by-1 set. And Congdon back to pass, and it's a throw to the flat to Powell, and it goes incomplete, and the clock stops.
Well, 4 seconds milked off.
Hey, you're working it. 2nd and 10. And we're not talking about being ultimately conservative and just sit on the football. But when you're pass, you don't give yourself a chance to put an opponent away unless you're completing those passes. And in the second half, they haven't had much success throwing the football. Dons with a 3-man front. Congdon will go 59 sprint. It's complete. And a short gain. And I believe that's Clausen's 4th catch of the game. And it'll make it about a 3rd down and 5, maybe 3rd and 6 for the Mustangs, and they get right back up onto the football. And if this pass is incomplete, they're going to punt and still leave time on the 3rd quarter. Dons showing blitz. They come. Mustangs protect. Powell with the catch. And runs it short of the chains. It's complete. The Mustangs will punt. And they're not going to get to the quarter. They took the ball with 1:58 left in the quarter. And, well, you know, it's just the quarter, but it's so important. You want to punt after you've talked to your team. Set up a punt, set up your defense.
And take it to the 4th quarter. You know, where you're discussing what you're going to do. You're excited. You got a 21-point lead. Not that they won't. They probably will. But just the tone you set.
The scatter report, Jetter's lined up and caught every single punt as if he's watching film, understanding the average of the punter, and not losing any yardage. So Dons, once again, with great field position, 25 seconds left in the 3rd quarter, and they'll take over on their own 47-yard line with 25 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Play action, little naked. He's got Nasser in the flat, and he's got room to run. Running for days, and Nasser with the first explosive play for the Dons. And they'll pick up 20-plus yards on this. We just call this naked, Coach.
And it's the same set that they had some success running into the boundary on, and it's the first time they faked it and run a nice little play action back against it.
Dons get right up in the football, but they don't get off a play. And it'll be the end of the 3rd quarter. as the four fingers raise above the Monte Vista players' helmets. They'll go to the fourth quarter looking to snap a 4-game losing streak, leading Amador Valley 21-0. We'll bring you the final chapter right after this. You're watching Monte Vista football on NorCal Sports TV, presented by American Asphalt. Family owned and operated since 1946 as a full-service jewelry store, Spitz Jewelers has remained true to our founding philosophies. Founded on the tradition of service, quality, and value, today we proudly continue that tradition from the smallest request to the most intricate custom design. We love what we do, and with 3 generations of success as our inspiration, we look forward to continuing these traditions into the future. Come see us at 1333 North Main Street in Walnut Creek. Spitz Jewelers, making memories for over 75 years. Go Mustangs! So Monte Vista looking for their first league win. The Dons, they got to score a touchdown on this possession. I don't know if they're in the point that they have to, go onside kick, but they are down 3 scores. Heavy set formation here for the Dons on 1st and 10. Broughton with the tackle. It's a 4-yard gain. Go ahead, Coach.
If they do score, there's no reason onside kick. If Monte Vista is going to continue to throw the football, not much time is going to come off the clock. You will have plenty of time.
So with those 40 seconds, here's that last play, and nobody sealed the edge. Broughton with the nice fill. Meineke misses the TFL. It'll be 2nd and 8 for Amador Valley. They're running that bunch formation with the tight end with Tucker in the backfield. It's going to be a naked play. They got the crosser wide open and in and out of his hands. Never saw a pair of shoulder pads with good hands. How about you?
No, never did. That was a nice throw. Cannon made a really nice throw coming out on the run. He kept stretching it out.
Attacked the line of scrimmage.
He didn't pull up. He did a nice job. Put it on the money. They've got to make those plays.
Yeah, Greff is
wide
wide
open.
open.
Monte Vista, the same thing. Dropping those the opportunities you have. You can't miss those opportunities.
We'd always say in practice, hope you kept a receipt for those gloves because they're not helping you. So 3rd down and 7. The Dons will break formation. 2-by-2 set. 58 sprint. Incomplete. Nice coverage by Meineke. And it'll be 4th down. The Mustangs have been great on 4th down so far tonight. They've had two stops and turnover on down. See if they can get a 3rd.
One thing that Amador has got to break the tendency of is everything they throw has been to the right side. They keep rolling right. They keep throwing right. And that's kind of fallen into the Monte Vista's hands right now. You have to understand that if you're a defensive player, you need to go against your tendencies, and I think they'd have better success right now.
So way back when we had a tendency of doing that, and then we put in old school throwback. When the backside receiver runs a post corner and hit that for a touchdown, I think Bryce McGovern was the receiver on many of those plays. So they break the tendency, go split left, and it goes incomplete. Great coverage by the Mustangs. And the Mustangs will take – they've been perfect on 4th down, and they'll continue that streak.
And Amador's red zone offense has been a disaster for them tonight. They've had an opportunities several times down in that area, and they've either turned the ball over or haven't been able to convert. They had the opportunity with the drop ball. Cannon threw a great ball. The drive would have kept going, and they haven't made the most of those red zone opportunities.
I'm going to get McMahon loose here. Maybe throw him to the flat or just give him a straight belly run right up the middle. Let him work his magic. And it's a reverse. Chahada does a good job of breaking contain and picks up 5 yards, but that exchange, the flip on that reverse, you just makes you
hold your breath.
You do hold your breath. But it was accurate. Was that one of the 15?
That takes a lot of timing. I think they've been practicing that one for a while.
Shahada, but runs out of bounds. and stops the clock. Mustangs hungry for a win. And the lineman didn't yell, look out, and McMahon is the victim, and it's a TFL for the Dons. And now it'll be 3rd down and 7. Nobody blocked anybody for the Mustangs up front on that play. You don't let a player cross your face. You wash him down. Ride him inside the pile.
This is another opportunity to
but the clock's running.
Run the ball against this 3-man front. There you go.
McMahon. Nice agility. And he'll pick up the 1st down.
You see that 3-man front, you go run right at it, especially with a 21-point lead.
I'm calling for a play repeater.
If they're going to stay in that 3-man front, yes.
The bear crawl, Coach. Watch
Running.
McMahon just get his hand down and continue to run. Nice job by him. And Congdon, 3rd time he's lured and drawn, as long as the receiver didn't jump. And they didn't. 3rd time he's drawn them off sides.
Those 5 yards and the time really are beneficial.
And you don't have to huddle. You don't have to come the ball. You get another 40 seconds.
Amador is going to come with some pressure here and play cover 0, man straight across the board. They may have checked back out of it.
Nope, they're coming. That's leaving early, surely. So when you're held at the line of scrimmage and you have to hold your water that long as an offensive lineman, it's tough.
It's very tough.
But go ahead and explain the rule.
Well, the clock's going to wind right here. So basically you get another 40 seconds. You just were able to kill 2 minutes without running a play. And if we take advantage of it.
So the whistle was blown at 9:28. And Mustangs aren't in a hurry. Well, I mean, they could work more time off this and manage this a little bit differently. Congdon keeps it, learns from his past, and doesn't get a huge gain, but he picks up 4.
And it keeps the defense honest. They've got to respect that. He's got to get himself north-south and get down. Don't take those unnecessary shots.
He took on way too many extra shots last week against Cal High. Tough kid. Appreciate the way he plays. But right there, well, I don't think he really had a choice.
Well, you get yourself low and you just dive and you get as much as you can. Don't take the unnecessary shot, but he pulled it. Did a nice job of that, gets 4.5 yards.
So the Mustangs took over on their own 26 with 11:09 left in the game. I'm Chris Babcock, joined by my broadcast partner, Craig Bergman. Don's showing blitz from the field, and it's a bubble screen out here to Chong, and he's been tackled high, but runs out of bounds, and the Mustangs will be short of the 1st down. It'll be 3rd and 3.
These are the little things you need to work on, as a team. You need to understand situations, when you want to stay in bounds, when you want to go out of bounds. And they need to have those senses. You can't be in the huddle all the time for them. They've got to understand those things.
Jake Kramer, the senior, with the tackle. Mustangs don't have enough guys in the line of scrimmage. Now they do. And it's going to be a 9 route, and it's in and out of the hands of Shahada. Open on the fade route, but just can't come up with it. Stops the clock, and the Mustangs will have to punt.
It was a very well-thrown ball. Shahada ran a good route.
Drops.
You've got to finish that.
Yep.
I don't necessarily agree with the play call. I think this is a scenario where you want to try and get the 1st down and keep that clock going. If you want, throwing the ball is okay, but try and throw something short. You've been throwing short things very successfully.
UPS delivered. They got to make that play. So it'll be 4th down. I'd like to see him maybe kick it away from the returner. Make him move off his spot. And they do. And the ball's going to take a Mustang bounce, and we'll flip the field. And it'll be down at the 6. You're watching Monte Vista football on NorCal Sports TV.
At Golden State Orthopedics and Spine, we want you to get your swing back, get your ride back, get your sprint back. With our top-to-toe orthopedic care throughout the Bay Area, we want you to get your life back. Golden State Orthopedics and Spine, ortho care for life.
So the Dons will take over.
Now the Dons are definitely should be in hurry-up mode.
Goldsworthy with the reach. Nice cutback. And he's just running through Monte Vista tacklers. And he'll get down to the 35-yard line. Should have been about a 5-yard gain. But Goldsworthy showing his capabilities as a runner. Rumbles and stumbles for a 30-yard gain.
Really nice balance. No wrap. Got to wrap up.
Protecting the football in traffic with that free hand.
I do see a lot of kids running to the ball there, though.
That's important. Bad snap. Quarterback was on a knee, no call. And Tucker is off to the races. Back-to-back explosive runs for the Dons.
And if you're the Dons, conversely, you want to go out of bounds. Lengthen this game.
Andrew White with a great job with the angle of pursuit. And coming back and keeping this from being a touchdown. Picking his spot on the angle and making the play. And then we've got a timeout, Monte Vista. I think Meineke or Monte Vista was out of sorts.
If we could get that last play back one time, Coach, you showed it, you talked about it, and we could see where the quarterback gets the ball. He's actually down on a knee. The play should have been whistled dead before the handoff came. The ball will come back, and you'll see him get it on a knee right there.
Yep.
As soon as his knee touches the ground, that ball should have been whistled dead. And, it's obviously hard. It's hard for the officials to see those things. They happen so quickly, especially with a four-man crew.
Yeah, that's something we haven't talked about. Should have a back judge. There should be more officials, but we don't have enough officials. The way that they get, we're not talking about simple criticism. We're talking about violence and following these people and just horrible things. But, yeah, he made a little indentation there. So back-to-back explosive runs for the Dons. I like the timeout by Coach Millard, just getting the defense coming back. They've had two big plays. Let's talk about it. And then another Mustang improperly equipped, and he'll have to come out of the field for a play that's inexcusable. Andrew White, this time of the year, Breedlove will come in for him.
Well, and Kenny Leffel, I talked to him at halftime about this. That's actually a penalty on the head coach, and and that's an unsportsmanlike conduct. You're asked before the game, is everybody properly equipped, and you say yes as a coach. And then if that happens, you get a 15-yard penalty, and if you get two of those, you're ejected from the game.
Goldsworthy with the stretch run in front of the Dons bench. Johnny Millard in his first year, the Foothill alum. This was his rival, Amador Valley. The Dons get right back up onto the football. Throw to the chains, and it'll be complete. And I don't think he's going to be short of the first down, but Johnny in his first season, a graduate of Foothill, was a Foothill assistant. Of course, his dad, Keith, 1980 Foothill alum, NFL Defensive Player of the Year, Washington State star. And his brother, Cade, is playing for the Falcons, and I'd imagine that Coach Millard his dad will be coaching with him here next year. Throw to the flat, goes incomplete, stops the clock. 4th and 1. Mustangs, can keep up with their perfect defense on 4th down?
I believe Coach Millard is also the oldest of 8 kids.
Did not know that. It was great seeing Johnny immersing himself at Monte Vista, was at the Hall of Fame dinner last night, sat with him, and he's just remained positive. You know, when you're 1-5, it's easy to go Gumby shoulders and fade away, and they've continued to work hard. It's 4th and 1. Goldsworthy, I don't know.
Nope, he didn't get it.
So the Mustangs are 4-0 on 4th down plays, Coach, on defense.
Just really, really bowed their neck tonight when they needed it. I mean, they've really shut that run game down on fourth down. Not a lot of imagination out of the Amador side, and I'm thankful if I'm the Monte Vista defense that they're not giving the ball to Nasser. He's a load. I know he fumbled once tonight, but every time he's carried it, he's got positive yards.
Especially when you have the field and you're going against a tendency and faking that reach to the right and booting to the left and getting Nasser out to the flat. The Mustangs will empty the backfield up 3 touchdowns with 6:37 left in the game. And then they'll bring McMahon back, feed that young man the football. Then he lines up and it's a throw. And Nasser with the sack, and the Mustangs lose about 10 to 12 yards. And it keeps the clock running. You're putting the sophomore, who's making his first varsity start, I believe, and that's Ben Fry, on an island against a Division I scholarship football player in Nasser. It's a mismatch. I'm not ripping the young man. He's got better football ahead of him. We've got unsportsmanlike conduct on Amador Valley, and I believe this will be an automatic first down. And that's on Danny Jones.
Couldn't quite see what happened over there. Obviously, Coach Jones upset about
and that'll be
something.
Now, that won't be an automatic first down.
It's a dead ball penalty.
So it's a heck of a gain, and it winds the clock. You don't have to come out of the huddle right here. You could literally run this to 5 minutes and 30 seconds before you snap the football. And the Monte Vista offensive line moved that time.
Yeah, right tackle flinched.
It's a simple game.
Once again, though, high school rules, that clock is going to run after this.
Please explain this.
Well, and it's happened to us, and we've been on both sides of this. If the offense,
could you just drain the clock with illegal procedures?
Theoretically, you can. It's up to the officials to deem whether you're
doing
doing
it
it
on
on purpose
unsportsmanlike conduct or whatever it might
but
be.
But if in a situation like this, you flinch a little bit, you're going to kill another minute.
They took over with 6:27 left. And Congdon pulls it, throws. We've got 5 offensive linemen downfield, no call. That puts the linemen in a very tough situation. It's an RPO, but with the Monte Vista offensive line, there's 3 of them that are downfield, but there's no call. The O-line, it's okay to be engaged, but at that point, 52 can't be down the field. But a great job by Breedlove Shahada of staying in bounds at least.
It is, and I think though in this scenario in this game, I think that you've got to coach Congdon up, run the football in that scenario. Run the football. Don't take a chance at the interception or an incompletion.
Double-edged blitz, and the Mustangs kill a family of moles and stop the clock. That would be an opportunity if you know they're double-edged blitzing. If you're going to pass it, to just swing the back out. Don't run a screen. Send everybody deep. There's nobody out here in the flat. Just send those receivers downfield and make it simple pass and catch. Clock stops. The Mustangs don't even work 2 minutes off the clock. It'll be 4th down and 4, and we're scoreless here in the second half. That's great for the Monte Vista defense. Jungi, high kick. 22-yard punt. We don't have to thank all of our partners who helping us bring you this game live on edTV and NorCal Sports TV. Orthopedic Express by GSOS. Golden State Orthopedics and Spine. Ned Milin at Morgan Stanley. Spitz Jewelers. George T. Schramm Mortgage. Contra Costa Office of Education. edTV and American Asphalt. 1st and 10. Sprint left by Gannon. And a hand in the passing lane. Well done there by number 31, Wyatt Eakin. Wasn't going to get there. Get your hands up.
Get your hands up, but if you're Gannon, you got to just pump, run a little bit. Run right there, get your 6 yards, get out of bounds. Keep yourself in play. You don't need to force that.
He has all that space out there, and good job by the Mustang defense. Throwing a shutout tonight.
Most of Amador's passing game has been off the rollout. They're on the move. They're really what they're doing is they're just shortening and making it half a field by doing that.
Cannon, throw, complete, Nasser, first down.
Right there was one of the first times that they've actually run a straight drop back pass with a route development,
And
with
he's
actually a route concept.
And he's wide open on the deep in route. And all of a sudden the Dons, once again, they've spent most of this second half in Mustang territory, but have yet to break into the end zone.
And they've got to pick up their tempo if they're going to get back in this game. They can't afford to huddle. They've got to go to a 2-minute drill.
Cannon scrambling around. And he gets sacked. 3 Mustangs on the play.
That's a mistake out of Cannon. He's got to get rid of that ball. He's got to throw the football away. Can't let that clock go. Forces him to use a timeout on that scenario. Nope, they didn't use a timeout.
So good pass rush. This is about an 8-second, 9-second play. Just keep coming. Keep coming. Get after that quarterback.
Looked like a right-handed Fran Tarkenton back there.
Well,
people don't know.
It's weird. It's weird that you say that because I was thinking Vikings when I'm watching the JVs and the varsity play. Matter of fact, the JVs won tonight. Monte Vista JVs won 21-14. Throw over the middle, Nasser in and out of his hands on 2nd and 22, and it'll be 3rd and 22. Mustangs have stopped Amador Valley unofficially 4 times on 4th down. They're more than likely going to have another opportunity here as we get to the final.
Not only have they stopped them 4 times, they've also created 5 turnovers tonight.
Yes.
That's 9 stops with turnovers or 4th down stops, if my math is
That's
correct.
that Arizona-Santa Clara math shining through.
I must have gone that day.
Pride of Cloverdale, they beat my Wolverines a couple weeks ago, so I owe Coach a libation or 6. Cannon, throw late, catch, and then fumble. Oh, he calls it incomplete. He made an athletic move, and but Coach is saying good call, was a juggle.
It looked like he possibly could have been juggling, obviously with no replay. They're doing a good job on that. I think he made the right call. We'll have to see. Wasn't sure if he actually had control the whole time. Ball was kind of
good call. Good
moving
call
around a little bit.
Good call. And the officials are going to err on the incompletion. It's always been that way and consistent that way.
And Amador is going to punt the ball. Down 21.
And they say the scoreboard says they have 3 timeouts. I don't think that's true. I thought they've called the timeout on that drive.
I'm a little perplexed at that.
And we let the ball hit, and then Shahada will pick it up. He's got a little room to run. Don't come back and peel back and shark. Shahada, the 20, the 10. Touchdown, Montevideo. No, we've got flags on the field. I believe these are unnecessary blocks, and we used to call them sharks, but you can't peel back. And then another flag, and it's raining flags here in their droughts of California. And I believe one of the Dons picked up a flag, and I believe he's ejected. And that'll be number 11, Greth.
I don't know if we'll catch it behind the play, but most of these blocks are 25 yards back behind the play.
You can't peel back. We used to award those with take a deep breath, Shark Hot Wheels. But now you cannot block away from, and that's the great call by the official. Should have been an 85-yard pick 6.
Punt return.
Or punt return. That would have been the 3rd punt return for a touchdown this year for the Mustangs. But when you block going away from your goal line, that's a safety play, and that's what's called, and the Mustangs won't get the return. They had it set up. So we're talking about if you see any Mustangs blocking away from their goal line, there's a peel back right there. Unnecessary.
He wasn't going to make the play.
He was nowhere near the play. You can't block away from your goal line. You can't peel back. And he hit him clean. But you can't do that. It's a safety play. And it cost the Mustangs a touchdown. But 2:44, and looks like the Mustangs are putting out some fresh jerseys. The quarterback is Ryan Taylor. He's 8 of 12 this year for 123 yards and 3 touchdowns. You got to like that percentage of throws to touchdowns. And Powell will line up at tailback. And then the Mustangs we've got a flag, and it's 2 men in motion, and the Mustangs will be marched back 5 yards, but they could conceivably snap this ball with 2 minutes left and play within the rules.
Yep.
So just a reminder, our next Monte Vista football game on edTV and NorCal Sports TV will be Friday, November 4th, as the Mustangs host San Ramon Valley. The Mustangs go to Winton and Treat next week, and that's enough said. Jet pass to Powell, and he picks up 4, and Coach Jones will call a timeout.
That helps the percentage, too, those little passes.
Yes, it does.
I used to love those as quarterback.
But somebody I want to say thank you to, and you were an athletic director. I was an assistant athletic director. It's a thankless position. But Monte Vista athletic director Andy Popper, and I know you're on and there's a lot of people. A great job for him of putting together the Hall of Fame dinner, and was such a classy event last night, and some players and people get inducted that we are close to, and it confirms how special Monte Vista high school is. Not just in football, not just in sports, academically, athletically, balanced. It's a place you've been for a long time.
And I really wish that our students had an opportunity to see the pride that these inductees have towards Monte Vista, and how much pride they have watching their school still play. And I really think that their stories were uplifting. I learned a lot about some people that were well before me, and I was amazed at some of the achievements that they've made. And I really think it's something that our students, specifically our student athletes, should see.
It's a rich tradition across all sports. And the Dons will blitz and a throw, and it goes incomplete, and that'll stop the clock. By now, I'll just say the game should really, I know score-wise it's probably over, should be over. And I know you want to give players chance to do things, but the only pass that you would throw up 3 touchdowns would be a naked or a counter boat, something safe. That the other coach isn't going to go, God, you're throwing on us up 3 scores, something safe, not risky.
Yeah, you want to respect the opponent you're playing.
Bubble screen incomplete, and the Mustangs worked off 19 seconds off the clock. So just for learning purposes for people that are watching at home or wherever they may be, we always, it's a thing in football, the 4-minute offense and how important that is, and using the clock and staying in bounds, it's football is all situations.
And you know what? There's nothing better for an offensive lineman to be able to milk 5 or 6 minutes off a clock and listen to the whistle blow and end the game on the field as an offense, because you've just run 6 minutes off the clock.
And especially when you have an offensive line that's young and growing and learning, you build up that little confidence of, hey, when we ran out the clock against Amador, those are the things that we need to repeat and continue to improve in situations. Mustangs are out a lot of players tonight. You know, I don't like to talk about injuries and players that are out. That's just the way football is. We're going to announce the kids that are here, and they played a hard football game, and they're going to get a win, and these kids are going to feel good, and they're going to feel great about coming to films tomorrow and working out and getting busy. Nice throw and catch that almost ends up being an interception.
What I'm going to take away is what a defensive effort tonight. The game plan was terrific. They have shut Amador down. They've created turnovers. They've stopped them on fourth down. They've done a great job.
So you talk about last week's game when they threw a pick six, another near pick six, a block punt. So in 2 weeks, the Monte Vista defense has only given up 13 points. Fake the Leo, throw the Roger, and the Mustangs are all over it.
Well, you know, when you're creating that many turnovers and you're giving the offense that many possessions, you've got to be able to milk that clock a little bit to keep that defense fresh. You want them to keep doing that.
So if they had 8 possessions in the second half, it could have really come down to 5 or 6 if you change your play calling just a little bit, manage those situations. Play to win the game, but you also got to play smart, manage situations. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Dons. Cannon throws it, and it's nearly intercepted. Cade and Honda in coverage, and the Mustangs not biting on any of the pump fakes and just continue to sink on defense. But great point by you, Coach. This Monte Vista defense has created turnovers, and the offense created a turnover. Congdon with the throw was intercepted, and Diebner hustling away from the play. That could have swung the game right there.
It really did, and that those things you see, everybody on the sideline feeds off that, and they see the effort, they see the hustle,
and it's funny, and we teased him a couple of weeks ago about it, but that's the kind of thing if you want to go and play football. And a coach sees it's like when Lockie threw had the fumble against Granada, got on his feet and went and tackled him so they didn't score a touchdown. Those are the things that coaches say is like, he's a football player. And how Diebner reacted to it, he needs to do more of that.
Yeah, I think the effort's been terrific tonight out of everybody. They've still made a few mistakes when they're a young team. They've got to get those things better. They still got to improve on running the football. But it's something to build on. That's for sure. It's a 6th turnover happens right here in front of us, and he takes
Shahada with a great play, reads the room, gets the pick. The 6th turnover created by the 5th turnover created by the Monte Vista defense, 1 created by their offense, and Shahada with the pick. And instead of trying to go and return this for a touchdown, he takes the knee, which is even better. The Mustangs are in victory formation. They'll take a knee, and it's going to be a happy Monte Vista team.
And it's our first snap from underneath the center.
And that'll do it. So the Mustangs get shut out in the second half, but it doesn't matter when you throw a shutout. And they get the 21-zip win and get a victory here at homecoming. And here's that last interception, the 6th turnover by Amador Valley. We said the first key of the game was to win the turnover battle. We'll wrap things up after a couple of commercials. You're watching Monte Vista football on NorCal Sports TV, presented by American Asphalt. Monte Vista football on NorCal Sports TV, presented by American Asphalt, is brought to you in part by Orthopedic Express by GSOS. When injuries occur, visit our specialty orthopedic urgent care in Walnut Creek. Golden State Orthopedics and Spine. Be your best active self, whether tiny or big, 2 or 102, or a world-class grandparent. You can find care with our expert, compassionate orthopedic doctors. Ned Milin at Morgan Stanley, seeking to help you simplify your financial life and realize the future you envision. Spitz Jewelers, making memories for over 75 years in Walnut Creek. George T. Schramm Mortgage. Contact the 1992 Monte Vista alum George Schramm at georgeschramm.com for your new or refinance mortgage needs. Contra Costa Office of Education, Learn, Lead, Achieve, edTV, Contra Costa County Education Television, and American Asphalt, taking care of business in the Bay Area for over 35 years. So Monte Vista snaps their 4-game losing streak and makes it 2 wins, back-to-back wins over the Dons. They won last year, and they get the win this year. Open up the scoring. First drive of the game with Congdon to Breedlove on a 2-yard completion, and the Mustangs led 7-0. And then Congdon to Chong on an 81-yard catch and run, and the Mustangs moved up 14-0. Then Broughton with a fumble recovery in the something to think about. Play pass, slant route. That closed out the scoring as the Mustangs got the victory 21-0. But their defense has only, there's the play by Chong. Just wide open on the RPO, and Chong does the rest. And then the next play, Coach got the interception. He had a nice game for the Mustangs.
Oh, he had a terrific game. He was all over the place. And I thought the entire defense just did a wonderful job of capitalizing on the opportunities that they got. When there was an opportunity for a play, they made it.
So the Monte Vista defense, there's the next play, Chong with the interception. And then the bad snap broke the timing. And the Mustangs defense was all over it. So a nice win by the Mustangs. And we'll close things out here from Sam Zackheim Memorial Field, where Monte Vista beat Amador 21-0 to win their 2022 homecoming game and snap their 4-game losing streak and even their EBL record at 1-1 and 2-5 overall. Thanks to the Contra Costa County Office of Education's edTV for airing this broadcast, and Monte Vista Athletic Director Andy Popper and Monte Vista Principal Kevin Ahern. I drew a blank. Great barbecue before the game. Sorry, Coach Kevin. You've been watching Monte Vista football on edTV and NorCal Sports TV, presented by American Asphalt. Thanks to our crew, Rodrigo Donner, Avery Townsell, my broadcast partner Craig Bergman, statistician Dan Jones, and our director Jason Green. I'm Chris Babcock here in Danville. Good night, and thanks for being on the show.